Motivation will not help you. What's your purpose? What do you want to achieve if you're lying something? I was like, no, I can't do it. There are no shortcut to success. So it gives you the 6 stairs that you'll have to climb, and people who are very bashing. I think you need to be the balance of both.
That is the roadmap to achieving our main ultimate goal.
Why? Is the bird dead or alive? Just answer. See You at the Top is about how you achieve your goal. So you can also grow from others' experience. That's something that I believe, and this book is all about.
Am I audible? Welcome to the Book Talk, presented by the Book Wishes Club. We all want to reach to highest potential in our life and become rich and successful, don't we? Well, who doesn't? But the question is, how can we reach to that peak in our life? What is the roadmap to a successful life? If you are also curious about all these things, then dear audience, fasten up your seat belts. Today, we are ascending to the top. Welcome to the 10th episode of the Book Talk. Today, we have with us our esteemed guest, who is a social activist, a public speaker from Toastmasters, and a very ardent book reader, Mr. Mridul Basnet. Let's welcome him.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And how would you like to introduce yourself?
I am a public speaker, I am a social activist, and I also do soft skills trainings. That's how I'd like to introduce myself.
Thank you so much. Now today the book we are talking about is See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. Why this book?
So I don't read a lot of books, but the kind of books that I read are usually self-help books, and this book actually I can implement in my life. That's why I love this book so much. There are so many incidents that are in the book, and these small things that I can really implement from tomorrow or today itself.
Okay.
So that's why I read this book.
So how do you basically choose the genre of what kind of book do you want to read? What are the factors that attract you to read some book?
When I was small, I used to read a lot of short stories by O. Henry. And I loved short stories because they were very crisp and you can use your own imagination. So self-help books, there are some short self-help books. They are very easy to read. They will give you what you need in just 1 or 2 pages. So I don't have to, put in a lot of effort.
Okay.
And from the very next day, I can use them in my trainings or in my day-to-day life. So that's the book that I choose. And that's the book that I like to read.
Okay. So basically you choose this because they are kind of not very complex or not having any double meaning kind of things. So that is why you choose self-help. All right. So, could you tell to our audience that what's actually inside of this book in brief? Like, what is See You at the Top about?
See You at the Top is about how you achieve your goal. There's a saying that there is no shortcut to success.
Yes.
So, this book basically tells you that there are no shortcut to success. It gives you this idea that there's an elevator to success, but it's out of order. And you'll have to climb the stairs to reach the success. Okay. So it gives you the 6 stairs that you'll have to climb. And there are like short stories that are in each chapter. So the first comes what you need to achieve your goal is self-image. Okay. So these are the chapters of the book.
Okay, so basically the chapters are divided in such a way that there are different stories in every chapter.
Yes.
And are they real life stories or they are kind of like, story made of imaginations?
No, there are short incidents. There are one-liners. There are, I think, 80 odd stories that you can, read and what the story is trying to say. Each chapter will relate to that.
So, Zig Ziglar talks about the wheel of life in a chapter. There are things like how a person manages a family time or professional life and all other stuffs. So how do you manage that, all aspects in your life?
So it's actually the second stair, your relationship with others. Your relationship with others is really important if you want to achieve your goal. So if I set out to achieve something, I need to have a good relationship with everyone, from my family members to my co-workers. If there is one relation that is gone bad, it will affect you in your goal. So that's what I got from this book.
Okay.
And the way it has helped me to achieve my goal is that I try to maintain good relationship with everyone. And there is a saying in Nepali as well, no? Jo pani kaam lagna sakcha. Meaning that you need to have a good relationship with everyone. You don't know when they will be useful in your life. So that is the second part of the book. And how I try to implement it in my life is basically I try to maintain a good relationship with everyone. Even if we're not in talking terms, I'll probably say something positive about that person. So that's how I keep my relationship with others.
So you just said something that's staying positive with the person. In book also Zig Ziglar mentions that being positive even in the adversities can help a person grow through that situation or something. So how can a person remain or have that positive attitude throughout all the times of struggles or even at the time of adversities? Have you faced it?
Yeah, I have faced it. But Zig Ziglar, basically there is one line that says motivation, something about motivation, right? So whenever you are feeling negative, what it tells is you need to have that, positive mindset.
Okay.
And he also talks about motivation, and it says that, motivation does not last very long. There is also a saying that motivation will not help you throughout. So what he says is motivation is just like bathing. You need it every day.
Okay.
So that's how I try to keep myself positive. I mean, there are some times when I'm down, but I try to remember that. And, every day is a new day. Every day I try to be positive. That's how I implement.
And every moment is a fresh start.
Yes, every moment is a fresh start.
Okay. So, as you have already mentioned about the 6 stairs early, so what are those 6 steps that one needs to lead to a successful life?
Okay. I have a picture from the book. So the very first step is self-image. How people perceive themselves. So there is a very interesting story in the book. It says, it's in your hands.
Okay.
So what happens is there is one person and there are 2 youngsters. They catch a bird and they present the bird to the old person. And they say that, is this bird dead or alive? So he said, it does not matter what I say. And they again ask, why? Why? Is the bird dead or alive? Just answer. So he said, if I say the bird is dead, you will open your hands and you let the bird fly. If I say it's alive, you will crush it to death. So it does not matter what I say. Just like that, self-image, what you perceive about yourself. The bird is in your hands. What others say does not matter. Because you can perceive yourself negatively. You can also perceive yourself positively. So the first step, self-image, you need to have a positive self-image to get to your goal. And the bird is in your hands.
Okay. So it's like there is another saying, the future is in your hand now.
Yes.
The birds is in your hand. This is something new. So, how do you think a person can manage a good self-image? Because naturally what happens with people is that we tend to criticize ourselves. When we are doing something good, we tend to praise ourselves less. And when we are doing something wrong, we tend to criticize ourselves more. So this is what the nature of human beings in general. So how can a person manage to have a good and positive self-image? What has Zig Ziglar told about this?
So I think mostly people have a negative attitude towards themselves whenever they are doing something is because of the fear of failure. You are bound to fail. So people have this thought that, okay, I will fail. And that's why they have this negative perception about themselves. For example, if somebody said that, okay, today you look good. I may not believe that, but if somebody says you don't look so good today, I'll definitely believe it. So first thing you need to know is that it's okay to fail. It's okay to not look good. because you can't be best every day. What you need to do is you need to try and improve. So if what's wrong, my hair or my glasses, so you give me feedback, I'll improve it. So this is something that will, I think, improve your self-image. So that's what Zig Ziglar has said as well.
So it is about accepting.
Yes, it's about acceptance and improvement.
Okay. So what is the second step that Zig Ziglar talks about?
The second step is relationship with others. You need to also have a good relationship with others, because the motivation, external motivation, is also equally important. The self-image is your own motivation that comes from inside you. The relationship, positive relationship with others, is like they will give you a push. So that will propel you towards your goal. You're climbing the stairs towards your goal.
Okay. So as you said earlier also, that motivation is like taking a bath. You need to do it every day. So how can a person manage to stay motivated every day? Like, what are the factors that can make people motivated?
Okay, the factors, it's actually also related in the third chapter, goals.
Okay.
I think what keeps you motivated is your goals. You need to remind yourself that what you are going to achieve.
Okay.
So that's something that will keep you motivated. You need to know clearly what you're trying to do. If you know that, if you know your goal, you'll definitely be motivated.
So when we're talking about goals, is it like everyday based goals, or it's a goal in life, or what the goal actually stands for?
Goal actually is a big topic in itself. You know, what we do from every day to what's big, you want to achieve something in life. So I think goal can be anything. Right? It can be getting up in the morning and making your bed. Because if you achieve that, tomorrow you are going to do that again. So goal can be anything, but these small steps, the small goals that you build, it will ultimately help you to achieve that bigger goal. So goal is something like you're trying to achieve something, but these small goals will help you get there to the main goal that you want.
That is the roadmap to achieving our main ultimate goal.
For example, I need to be a trainer. Right? Okay. I want to be in training and development. Okay. I want to be in HR. So that's my ultimate aim in life.
Okay.
So what I'm doing today will actually help me achieve that in, let's say, 5 or 10 years down the line.
Okay.
What I do on everyday basis. That small goals, small target that I set will actually help me get there. It's not like you want to be a top trainer one day and you wake up and you be a trainer tomorrow. It's not like that. The small achievements that I do will actually help me.
So it should be shown in behavior. The goals are actually the smart goals.
Yes, smart goals.
Okay. So what's the next step that the writer talks about?
The next step the writer talks about is not getting distracted and your attitude towards goal. There's a very funny story that I would like to share. It's from the book. It's Don't Miss the 220 to Boston. Let me give you the overview about that. And there is one guy named John Jones. So John Jones is taking a 220 flight from New York to Boston. And his flight was around, I think, 11:30 something. So he goes in the airport very early. He was very early to the airport. So he thinks, what should I do now? You know, I'm at the airport very early. So he decides to go around in the airport, see something. And he comes up with, there's one weighing machine, and he comes up with the idea, I should take my weight. So he goes there, he gets on the weighing machine, he puts up $1, and it says, your name is Mr. John Jones. You are 225 pounds, and you're taking a flight from New York to Boston. So this machine was something like it gave you your weight and a fortune cookie.
Okay.
So this John Jones thinks, this machine gave me my exact weight, where I was going. Basically, it gave me so much information about myself. What should I do now? So he again steps up, takes his weight, again puts up $1. Again, another sheet came out and it said, your name is still John Jones. You're still 225 pounds. And you are going from New York to Boston. Now this person was He thought somebody is playing a prank. Now I need to trick this person, whoever is playing the prank.
Okay.
So he goes to the store, he buys a jacket, he buys a hat, he buys a pair of sunglasses.
To increase his weight.
And he changes his appearance.
Okay.
And again gets to the weighing machine, again steps up, again puts up $1.
Okay.
And another cheat came out. It said, your name is still John Jones.
Okay.
You're still 225 pounds. But you missed your flight from New York to Boston.
Okay.
So what I want to relate is, he was caught up with so many unnecessary things that he missed his entire goal. So in life as well, what Zig Ziglar talks about is, don't get distracted.
Okay.
You need to be focused about your goal. And your goal was from going from New York to Boston. That's why you were at the airport.
Okay.
You don't get distracted about other things. So this is something that we need to be aware about when we are chasing our goal. Not get distracted. What our focus is. So that's how I think we can achieve our goal.
Alright, that was very interesting example, by the way. And he could have utilized those extra time in a productive way as well. So what is the next step that writer talks about?
The attitude towards your goal.
Attitude.
So that's another step when you go to the attitude towards the goal. Your attitude also needs to be very clear. You will have downfalls, you will have so many obstacles, but your attitude needs to be very headstrong. It needs to be very clear. So will you just stare at the stairs, or you will get up through each and every ladder to go through your goals?
Okay.
So that is another step. Attitude. When you set your goal, goal setting is very easy, but attitude is what keeps you going. Let's say, for example, if I want to wake up very early, that could be one goal, but my attitude towards that goal will actually push me to achieve that goal.
So goal and attitude they work simultaneously in a person. So after the right attitude, then what are we talking about in the sixth step?
And the last step is the desire. What I have seen and what this book has taught me is that most of the people, they will only desire. So only desiring will not help you. You need to first know that you deserve the goal or not.
Okay.
If you've done all the hard work, then you can desire. For an example, let me tell you one short story again from this book.
Sure.
There is this security guard that he was very familiar with John Jones. Zig Ziglar. So when Zig Ziglar is at the bank, there is one security guard and he was just talking very casually. So the guard tells Mr. Ziglar, the bank does not pay good.
Okay.
So Zig Ziglar replies, no, my friend, the bank does not pay you good.
All right.
There are people who earn so many money, so much money in this bank. Okay. And then here you are. The bank is giving 10 million to a CEO and only 10,000 to you. Why is that? Because you don't desire to be at the top.
Okay.
And if you desire to be at the top, you need to deserve to be at the top. There is also another saying, first deserve, then desire. If I want to be a CEO, what have I done to be the CEO? Okay. Have I developed myself enough or not? Just desiring will not help. So you need to climb up every step before you desire. Desire is the last step towards reaching your goal.
So first deserve and then desire. Yes. That's how we can sum up all these steps.
Yes. So you can see it in the picture as well. The stairway to success is out of order. Sorry, the lift is out of order. And then you need to work your way up through the ladder to the success. So first thing that you need to do is, will you just stare at the stairway or will you get to each and every stairs? So the first stair is self-image. You need to have a positive self-image about yourself, about your entire life. A relationship with others is something that you need to maintain to achieve that goal. The third step is goals. You need to be very clear about your goals. You need to set standard goals. fourth is attitude. Now, what's the difference between attitude and self-image? Self-image is something that you perceive about yourself, but attitude is something that you perceive about others, the outer world. So if you think it's a bad day, or if you think situations are not going good, it's your attitude. But how you perceive yourself is your self-image. Now, after you have worked in this step, you need to put in the effort. There comes work, the deserve part, and then it's desire. So basically, first you need to deserve what effort have you put in, and then you desire about your goals. You cannot just say that I'll be a CEO. What have you done to achieve that? What have you done to be a CEO? So after that, you can desire, and then you'll reach your success. This is what the book tells.
It's quite creative imagery of, that it's out of order. The shortcut is out of order and you have to climb the stairs like a compulsion, which is actually true. Now that we have talked about this relationship with others, I'm sure many audience might be wondering that how can we maintain good relationship with people around us? What is the thing called positive relationship with others? So how can we do that?
Positive relationship with others. There's one good example that I would like to use, and it's something that I use in my trainings as well, and in my daily life as well. First step is be humble. Now, I think everyone has heard about, when Hanuman got his tail burnt in Lanka by Ravan. So there is one small incident that happened. So when Hanuman was meeting Sita, for, when Ram sent Hanuman to meet Sita, Hanuman just said, I am a messenger of Lord Sri Ram. He was so humble. And he didn't even brag about himself. Now, if you read Ramayana, Hanuman is the most powerful character in Ramayana. He is someone who can swallow the sun. But he just says, I'm just a messenger. He does not brag about himself. So when Ravan caught Hanuman and wanted to light his tail on fire, it was actually Sita who prayed to Lord Agni that please protect this kid from the fire. So if you are humble, everyone will pray for you. Everyone will work towards your success. So that's how maintaining your relationship with others, being positive, staying humble, will help you achieve your goal. In my own life, I have mentors who, help me achieve my goals. So I can't do it all alone. I need help. Now, how do I maintain my relationship with my mentors? Is be humble. Know my roots. How, from where I came, where am I now? How they helped me. I think knowing all this maintains my relationship with them.
So it pretty much sounds like you prefer mentorship a lot.
Yes.
So, and the book was also suggested you by a mentor. That's a coincidence. Okay, so there is a thing called, there was a line in the book that said the ingredients to winning attitude. What are actually the ingredients to winning attitude? What's the recipe to a good attitude?
In my view, the thing that I've taken from the book, your ingredients to a winning attitude, I think first is, I was someone who was always, afraid to fail. I was someone who even when my mentor said, you can do this, I was like, no, I can't do it. And there was one incident when he said, you can give a speech in front of so many people. Now, I was afraid of public speaking, and I said, no, how can I give a public speech? How can I do trainings? So first thing he told me to improve was, have confidence in yourself. And ingredient of success is, I think, first and the very most important is you believe in yourself. You be confident. So the book talks about that as well. The first step of the stair is self-image. So first is be very confident. Know that you can do it. Second is obviously you need help. You can't do it all alone. So maintain your relationship with your mentors or your friends or anyone you meet. For example, today I'm in this podcast because I met someone, and that someone we had a relationship. He invited me to this podcast, and now I'm sharing my thoughts. So your relationship. Third, be clear of what you want to do after you have that. Fourth is work, because there is no shortcut to success. You'll have to work, even if you have good relation, even if you be very confident about yourself. If you don't work, you are destined to fail. So work, and then rest, leave it to go. So I think that is a good ingredient to success for me.
Yeah, and there is also a saying that when you mentioned the term work, there was in the back of my head, it says, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I've heard it somewhere. I don't know, it just struck my mind. So yes, work is important before we desire, and these are the recipes to a winning attitude, basically.
Also, I'd like to add something to work, because, there is another saying, popular opinion, that practice makes you perfect. But there is another saying that if you don't work in a right way, it will make you permanent. It will not make you perfect.
Yeah.
If you are practicing a move wrong, you will not be perfect. You will be permanent. So in work, you will also have to take feedback. Am I doing it good?
Yes.
So feedback is what will help you to improve that work again if you're doing it for the second time. So take feedback when you're doing work.
Okay. So yes, that's a very good feedback and suggestion actually. Take feedback when you're doing work. So now we have a short rapid fire session, which is obviously related to books and stuffs. So I'll be asking you a few questions, and you can answer them in a word or liner or something. If you were to reconnect one chapter from the book to someone seeking motivation from this book, which one it would be and why?
It would be The Bird is Dead or Alive from this book, because it, whatever you do, it's in your hands. People have said thoughts like, okay, he will say something, she will say something, but does it really matter? Because it's your own hands that you're doing something. So whatever you think, you can crush the bird to death or you can let it fly. It's really is in your hands. So that chapter, I love it from the book.
It's a very deep meaning actually this chapter gives. Favorite book of all the time?
Okay, 10 Steps of Positive Living.
Okay. Morning or night reading?
Night reading, anytime.
You need to read before going to bed.
Yes. You fall asleep after reading.
Okay. Fiction or non-fiction?
Non-fiction.
Alright. Audiobooks, traditional reading or online reading?
I prefer audiobooks these days because you can do something else and you can still, hear the book. For example, I was cleaning my room and I had my headphones on and I was reading something. So you don't just sit and read. I like to do multiple stuff. So in that way I connect the books.
Okay. So one book at a time or multiple books simultaneously?
One book at a time.
Okay. What would you like to prefer reading from? Like going to library or getting book from store?
Getting book from store, not going to library, because you can read it anytime you want. I always have a book, Bhagavad Gita, in my bag. Okay. And whenever I like to read, I read the book. Otherwise, I don't. So that's why you need to have your own book.
Okay. So favorite reading spot?
Bed.
Of course, read at night. Book that made you cry, if any?
Not this. The book that I was not reading, but somebody else was. In my office, there was a colleague, and he was reading Shunya Kamulya. It's a Nepali book, and it tells you about the struggles that you had in the remote part of Nepal in Karnali. So there is one incident that happened. There is a mother and her child is sick, and the doctor tells her to come after 2-3 days. So after 2-3 days, when the doctor arrives in the health post, the woman said, "We have not gone to our village. For 3 days they were staying there."
Okay.
Now, why is that? The doctor was shocked. He said, "Why didn't you go your home?" So she says that to go to our home, it will take us 7 days. So for entire 3 days, they were at that help post.
Okay.
So that was something that was very moving.
Okay. There are some books that hold
it's,
very big
it's
emotions.
very heavy.
Yes.
And I told my mom to read that.
Okay. All right. So, an author you would love to have dinner with?
J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter.
Okay. So, what would you like to ask her in the dinner?
I'd like to ask her, would you give me half your property, because she is the only person who became a millionaire by writing book.
Okay.
So, but on a serious note, what I'd like to ask her is, how did you get the motivation to write? Because, she was in a cafe when her daughter slept. She used her imagination to write a book. So I want to ask her what was going in her mind. Had she imagined that she would be this famous by her books?
Definitely. That was very, out of the box imagination that she has written about. Do you see yourself at the top?
Definitely. But again, the question is, do I have to, what do I have to do to get on the top? Am I putting enough work or not? So each and every day I ask myself, what can I do to be at the top? What can I do to get more trainings? What can I do to increase my income even more? So yeah, definitely I see myself at the top, but I'm searching for the work part.
Okay, yeah, like climbing the stairs, one by one.
Stairs.
So the last one, if you were a book, what would your title be and why?
Game of Thrones, because that's how my life is going. Life is unpredictable. You have to battle so many things, just like in the book Game of Thrones.
So yes, just now that you said that life is unpredictable, there is one line that ZigZiglar has written: you can have anything in your life that you want. So what is he actually trying to talk about when he says this? Because a lot of people want, you never know what not in their life, but we are not getting it. So what is the secret of getting anything that we want in our life?
Getting anything that you want in your life, first you have to know what you want. Because you can't imagine so many things and then you get it the very next day. So there is a difference between a wish and a goal. So what you want in life, it has to be your goal. If it's just a wish, it will be a wish. First you have to make that wish into a goal. And then you work towards that goal. I never thought that I would be in trainings because I was afraid of speaking in front of people. But from my mentors, I figured out that this is something that I want to do. And I started doing it the very next day. Whenever I see an opportunity to speak or an opportunity to do trainings, I do it because that is something that will make me better. And that's how I want to achieve my goal. So anything that you want to do, you can do it. But the question is, do you deserve to get that? Only desire will not help you. Your deserving nature is also there. That plays a huge factor.
To bring that in your behavior also. Like you said, you started working the right next day when your mentor told you that. So we need to have that attitude towards our work to get.
My mentor said, you have two choices. I'm going in trainings, but I don't want you to join me because it's a lot of hard work. You will not get paid. But I have a job for you. You can do that. So I said, no, I don't want that job. I want to be with you. So I said, okay. So from the very next day, we did trainings. We did trainings in Toyota. That was my first training. So from there, I picked up and I figured out this is something that I want to do. And then I started working towards it. I think it's been 5 years that I've been doing what I'm doing.
That's quite actually surprising when you said that you were not, you have fear of public speaking before because we can't figure it out if you did not say it. So, there was another, I don't know, maybe a chapter or it was mentioned in middle of some chapter about the integrity challenge.
Yes.
So, what is this challenge about? And it talks about honesty, I guess.
Yes, it talks about honesty, it talks about integrity, and I want to relate that to my personal life as well.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, whenever you're doing something, whenever you're doing any work, the honesty part comes. Are you 100% true to whatever you're doing? Then, if you're 100% true, then you will enjoy it. If you're not, then you'll not enjoy it. So the integrity part is you don't mess up what you're doing. You do it with your whole heart, and you believe that whatever you're doing is the right thing to do. For example, when I was in trainings, I used to have this imposter syndrome. Now, my mentor always said, if you're surrounded by 5 people who are bankers, you would also want to be banker. If you're surrounded by 5 people who are in training, you also want to be in training.
Okay.
And I was not only the protege that he, helped in trainings, but many of them left because they were not honest to the profession. But I was honest to the profession. You will face a lot of hardship. That's when the integrity part comes. Are you doing it for the sake of doing it, or are you actually doing it because you love it? So that's where the honesty and integrity comes. If you're honest, if you're doing it wholeheartedly, you will definitely achieve it.
So that's when we resonate it with work life, then you have already given your real life example. But when we talk about a personal life, when we are in relationship with our families, friends, and our partners, this kind of relationships, how does this integrity play a role? Because there's also a saying that we human beings are natural born liars. We lie often. We even lie to ourselves as well.
Yes.
So how can a person manage to be that honest with himself and people around?
I think the secret to lying is knowing your purpose. Why? In relationships, most of the time what happens is, what's your purpose? What do you want to achieve if you're lying something? If your intention is to cheat, then the relationship will not work. Even if you are in a relationship with your family or somebody else, if you are cheating, then that will not work even if you say the right thing. But if your intention is to build that relationship, even if you lie to build that relationship, I think it will work out. Because Sri Krishna also says, the lie that is used in a good cause is not actually lying.
So in the same context, when we are talking about the lies that can save some lives also, so in what kind of situation or instances can lies be good?
I think lies that are done for the greater good is not a lie. Even in Mahabharata, if you read, Krishna lies about a lot of things. But that is done for the greater good. So, in my view, if a lie is done to save something, in corporates we lie so many times to save our colleagues. So, if a lie is done for a greater good, I think it will be, good. But there is also another popular saying, you don't lie completely. You say 50% of it true and 30% you manipulate.
Yeah.
So I think that lie is also very good.
Okay, so until and unless that is harming somebody else, it's fine.
Yes. So just to add on to that point, there is also another saying, there's a fine line between persuasion and manipulation. So if you are manipulating somebody, if you are straight up lying, that's with the wrong intention, But just to persuade someone, you can lie about something. Maybe my mentor also lied to me when he said, I see a very good speaker in you. That was his persuasion. And then I believed that, okay, I can do this. So like that, I have also lied several times, even if the person is saying, okay, did I do bad? Did I do very worse? Am I not good enough? You lie. You say that, okay, no, it's your first time. That was a truth. But you said, okay, you're not bad enough. So in public speaking also, when people come to me and after the speeches in Toastmasters, they say that, okay, the speech was very bad. I'm not good enough. I don't completely say the truth.
Okay.
I don't say that, okay, you are not good. I say, okay, it's your first time, which is the truth. And then I say, it's very good. So lies also, I think, can be manipulated. And you use that lie to persuade someone, not manipulate someone.
So yeah, I think there is also a similar instance that happened with Thomas Edison. His mother lied to him about a letter that came from his school, and that's what made him the person he was. But when we are talking about this, and we have also talked about feedbacks. So when we lie people about giving feedbacks, is that helping them to grow, or it can go both ways?
Yes, it can go both ways. It depends on the feedback. What kind of feedback are you giving? Usually when I give my feedbacks, you have to be very careful when you give feedback, because that feedback can destroy someone completely. But your intention is to get that person better. So what I do is I'll use 2 good points and 1 point for improvement. And then again, wrap it up with one good point. So for example, let's come to public speaking. If somebody says, was I not good enough? Then I'll say, it's your first time, you did great. Now here's the part where I give feedback. I'll say, you are good on this aspect. Your structure was very good. You were doing it good. You were moving good on the stage. But next time, please be more confident. So that's my way of saying that you are not very confident on the stage. So next time, please be more confident, and you will be a wonderful speaker. You can ace it next time. So that is one other point. So now the person will remember that, okay, I'm very good at this, but I just need to be more confident.
So that's very thoughtful, actually. And but this does not apply to the parenting style of our society. If you have noticed, in our culture, we are given more preferences to the things that we have done bad or wrong. We are told about not to do that things. But in the things that we are good at, we are not given feedbacks that, okay, yes, you are doing good and you should do this. That's actually nice when we tell people about the strength and weaknesses equally.
So in parenting style, I've seen both ways. People who are very protective and people who are very bashing. I think you need to be a balance of both, because at point you need to point out these are the things that you've done wrong, but also tell them that you are good at these things. So when I was growing up, I was not good in my studies. So my parents always had this mixture of saying this. They used to tell me that you are a very good kid. There is no complaints for you from anywhere. Your school also does not complain about you. Your behavioral aspect is very good. You respect your elders, but you don't improve your studies. So they had this way of, complimenting me as well as bashing me. So gradually I improved my studies because now I have only one area to focus. But if they only, bash me, I'll forget about my good things. And if they only point out my good things, I'll not improve where I need to improve.
There should be a balance. Otherwise, when you're only told about your weaknesses or limitations, then you might feel discouraged or, demotivated, let's say. So there is this another chapter that talks about overcoming discouragement and maintaining motivation. So what does ZigZiglar mentions in this?
I think in, maintaining motivation and overcoming discouragement, I think you can use the same strategy, because that's something that I've used in my trainings and with my proteges as well. You can't just praise them and, say only good things about them. That way they will never improve. That's something that my mentors have used. That's something I have used. And I've come to realize that if you only praise them, they will never improve in something. But if you keep on giving them feedback, they might get discouraged. So overcoming discouragement, it's something like, if I say good things about you, I need to tell you where you need to improve, and also tell you lots of things that you did better. That will help you in overcoming discouragement. Now for motivation, I can give you feedback, but in a very subtle way. So that will help you be motivated. For example, if I say you need to improve this, if I say it very bluntly, you will not be motivated. But if I say that, okay, this is the thing that we can improve, and I'll help you improve it. Next time if you're giving this, I'll help you improve it. That will give you motivation. Now that person will be even more motivated. Okay, this is something that I need to improve, and he is helping me improve it. So I think that's where motivation comes from. And saying positive things will help you overcome discouragement.
Okay. So, and yes, despite of all of these things, the bird is in our hand.
Yes, the bird is in our hand.
And it's us who decides, like, either we want to overcome that or stay with that.
Yes, stay with that, and also we need to be very clear where we are heading from New York to Boston.
All right. So, it's actually about how we connect all the dots, or we connect all the steps. If you were to add 1/7 step, what would that be?
1/7 step, I think most of the things are covered in the book, but also something that I would want to add is fun element.
Okay.
Because you can practice all these things and still get demotivated. That's something that I have faced. You can have the right attitude, you can have the right self-image, but if you're not having fun, is it really worth it? So in my case, what I do, if I accomplish some goal, I will let myself have some fun.
Okay. So
by fun, meaning I'm very enthusiastic about adventure sports. So after a major project, I try to challenge myself. So your fun element is also something that will give you motivation. So one thing, if I have to add one more step, I'll add fun.
So you basically use that reinforcement techniques to keep yourself motivated.
Yes.
Again, it's related to the work itself. So there are different principles, I would say, that are mentioned in this book, like continuous reading and maintaining positive attitude and all other things that we talked previously. So what are the specific principles, or what are those principles that you personally liked and applied in your life after reading the book?
So after reading the book, there's something that I applied. It's overcoming, obstacles. Believing in yourself, overcoming discouragement. So one thing that it's not in the book, but it's somewhat related to the book, it's letting things go. There is another story about two monks. In Buddhism, it says that if a monk is a senior monk, he is not allowed to touch a woman. Now, there is one incident in a story where two monks are crossing the river, and there is one old lady who is at the banks and she can't cross the river. So the senior monks helps her. He carries her, and then after crossing the river, he leaves her, and the monks go to the monastery. So the junior monk asks, why did you touch the woman? Why did you carry her on her back and cross the river? So the senior monk replies, I left the lady at the bank. Why are you still carrying her? What it symbolizes is you should be able to let things go. Now, coming back to the book, it's overcoming, obstacles, discouragement. So how can you do that? You are bound to fail. You will fail. And discouragement, even in self-image, you will fail a lot. And you might feel, okay, this is something that I've done bad. So in that case, you should be kind enough to forgive yourself. That's also how you build self-image and how you maintain a positive attitude towards everything. You forgive yourself, you let things go, and you move on. And you put in an extra effort in your work. That's how you get success.
Okay, so this is very important lesson actually, because a lot of people are struggling with not being able to let go the things from their past, and that's something that's holding them to move forward. So what do you have to suggest to our audience that why should they read this book, and especially to the youths, or let's say any age group of people can relate to this?
So my theory about reading books is whenever I read book, I gain a lot of experience from the book. There is a saying, you are a sum of your experience, and it's very difficult to get all the experiences that you can collect. So you can also grow from others' experience. That's something that I believe. And this book is all about such stories, such incidents which you can apply in your day-to-day life. Now, if you think it's worth it, do read the book, apply it in your life, and you will achieve success. So see you at the top.
Okay. So yes, like you said, that we can also learn from others' experiences also. I had also learned it somewhere that we learn in different ways by facing the struggles and by reading it, and the another is by observing or by learning through others' experience, and that's the wisest thing to do. Because you don't even have to fail to learn that, or you have to go through any struggles. So you just read that and be, preventive approach. That's a kind of preventive approach from struggles. So is there anything that I have missed from this book that you would like to mention to our audience?
I don't think so. But if I want to add something. There is a saying that there are 3 kinds of people. The first one is someone who will just wish. They will just desire. They will not do any kind of work. They will, just desire and they will forget about it the very next day. They will not set a goal. The second kind of people, they will set a goal, they will try and they will fail. And they will fail again and again. And they will, one day succeed or one day they will fail. If they fail, if they don't try, it will become a desire again. But if they succeed, they will make it. Now there comes a third kind of people who are, I think, just like me, who learn from others' experience. If a person has already succeeded, there must be something that the person is doing right. So identify what the person is doing right. I think that is something that will help you achieve your goal. Identify, learn from their mistakes, and don't make that mistake yourself.
And then apply and implement in your life. That's very true. So we have a small token of love from the Book Talk team. Thank you for being the guest and enlightening us with the knowledge of this book. And it was great to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, dear audience, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed our conversations. And if I was to take one lesson from today's episode, that would be first deserve, then desire. So just desire will not take us to the top. We need to work hard, have positive attitude, set smart goals, and then see you at the top. So thank you for today. See you all in the next episode. How did you like this episode? Please comment in the box below.